Hello and welcome, everyone. You're here tonight because you want to hear more about having time freedom, right? Exactly. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So you're absolutely in the right place. It's a passion of mine to just really help people understand how you could be working less, making more, having more fun, and creating that freedom. And so let's get started. I did nothing today and I still got paid. Yep. I did nothing today and I still got paid. And you know what, guys and gals? You could be doing nothing today and still get paid. This line really got my attention. Why? Because this is exactly what happens when you create a freedom lifestyle. I believe creating wealth and creating freedom has to come through residual income. There's really no other way in today's changing economy. And I'm sure you'll agree that winning the lottery is just not going to cut it. So, what exactly is residual income? It's recurring income that is coming from the initial effort that had already been generated. So you've created the effort and then it recurs and recurs after that. It's the opposite of active income, which requires your presence to earn every single dollar. Residual income is often referred to as beach money. Yep, beach money. Some people like to refer to it as lifestyle income or royalty income. I like to make it, call it freedom income. But you know what? It's not all about, having fun and being on the beach and all that. That's all fantastic. You don't have to, really think about the money coming in, but it's about peace of mind. You see, back in September, my mom was not doing so well. She lives in Edmonton, and so I had to run back and forth from Ottawa to get back with her. And you know what? We had turned out things didn't go well. She ended up passing away, but was not having to worry about my money coming in, and I was able to take that time off and be with her at the really good parts when she was still doing okay, and then to be there when we had to do all the other stuff. And another thing is my good friend went through something kind of similar where she had to take a whole year off because to take care of her husband who had been dealing with cancer. And so this is really kind of what I refer to as peace of mind income or worry-free income. So these are things that you want to think about when you're starting to build this residual income, so that you can have, a safety net, a contingency plan, you might say. So, today I want to bring you as much value as possible. I'm going to be sharing the why, the what, and the how of creating a time freedom plan. I want you to think about three things: the power of leverage, the power of systems, and the vehicles to generate residual income. And there's three words that I want you to think about: is leverage, systems, and residuals. You'll discover how all three of these will play a key role to your freedom lifestyle. I'm really excited about that for you. But before we get into the nitty gritty of my webinar here, I want to tell you a little bit more about my background. I'm a farm kid from Alberta, farm girl from Alberta, and when I got to being 18 and out of high school, I just had to run to the big city. But before that, we, grew up on this massive family farm, worked all the time, like literally. In fact, we didn't even have running water until we built our new house when I was at like 13 years old. But I probably should correct that, because we were running for the water, myself, my sister, and my brothers. So it was a lot of constantly working. And so we didn't seem to have time to have fun and freedom and all that, because it was work, 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 work. So when it comes to money and my mindset around that, the only thing I'm familiar with is that there's never enough, or there was never enough. It always went back into the farm, right? So we just but the one good thing is that we had the roots. We had a great work ethic, and that's what happens on good farm life. But then it came to there was a turning point that came into my life, and I went to this big city when I turned 18, started working 2 jobs, putting myself through school. And then a friend of workmate of mine invited me to this seminar called the Master Key Seminar. So I was like shocked. I mean, I've never been in a personal growth, professional development, and being a farm kid, it was just like so new to me. So for a whole weekend, we were immersed in this. It was like a Tony Robbins, back in 1970, whatever. I was blown away. And so I started to realize that I could dream again, start dreaming and really start to be thinking about my future and what I really wanted to do. I told a few of my friends about it. They thought I was absolutely crazy. So I did the right thing. Thank God I ignored them. So from that seminar, from that time on, I had my dream starting, and this was one of the big ones. I wanted to have a specific TR6 British red, cherry red car convertible that I wanted to have. And so it happened. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but it happened. I worked 7 days a week for 2 years and paid $4,000 cash. That's back in 1975. And from that time on, that was my freedom car. My girlfriends and I just had a blast always going through the Rocky Mountains with that during the summer. So that was cool. And then around 1980, I bought my first home. So, starting to get into that whole idea of investing. And then I also purchased a retail franchise the year after, and I was like around 24 or so. So it was like all starting to happen. I'm, really working this entrepreneur thing and this freedom thing. And it was just all lots of fun. Things were going well, though, until I met this guy who ended up being my husband, Air Force pilot, and he swept me off my feet, literally. And now he wanted me to move to Winnipeg with him. And so, of all places, I did that, and I moved in January. Ooh, dear, very cold. I sold my condo, sold my franchise, and went to be with him with no job. But what's interesting is fate would have it, I landed my dream job. I became a trainer for Estee Lauder Cosmetics Western Canada, and life was great. It was awesome. We were doing a lot of things with our careers. But what happened was we had postings back to Edmonton, and we had another posting to Toronto, and we were pregnant with our second child, Allison, and that's when the tragedy hit. She at birth, she just didn't make it. This was a wake-up call for us. It totally changed our lives. And, we didn't know where we were going, what we were doing. It would just seem like we were in a fog the whole time. We were living in this rat race of life, and it really just shattered our dreams. So it was time for us to evaluate, what are we doing with this treadmill lifestyle, this hamster wheel, just going, going, going. We're moving, we're buying homes, we're selling homes, we're finding schools, we're uprooting all the time. It was a crazy life. We were just not grounded. So from that point on, I made the decision to be the person on the right hand versus that person on the left hand of this slide. And so after 2 more postings, life started to look up. We had our third child, and we were finishing our 3rd year in Trenton, and we were ready for another posting. And Jeff comes home and says, "Hey, our next posting is now available. What do you think? How do you feel about moving to Italy?" OMG. This thing had been on my vision board for a long time, but only as a vacation for 3 weeks, not 3 years. Yes, we had 3 absolutely glorious years there. And I tell you all about these experiences because I want you to understand where this whole idea of having a passion for time freedom came from. So anyways, we end up going back to Canada. And so what's a girl to do? I'm like wanting to figure out, what am I going to do? And so it was asking myself again, do I want to be on that hamster wheel, that treadmill of life, or do I want to have that balance for my family and have control of my time? So I made a decision coming back into Ottawa. I didn't know anyone here. I didn't have a job. We just landed here, got the kids settled, the home and everything. And I said to myself, I want to work less hours than I did before. And that was, like just because of all that had happened in our life. But I want to make the same kind of money. And so was that really, really possible? So it was interesting because as the universe would have it, my sister introduced me to, the world of network marketing and said, here's a home-based business that you can work your schedule around your family and all the other things you want to do. But I was super skeptical, as most people are. I had something that's called ITC. I'm too cool for that. Yep, my ego was controlling me. So I was about to say no, and my sister knocked some sense into me and said, why don't you just check it out? At least be open to checking it out. So I went to a company conference to do my due diligence, and the speaker on stage put up this slide, and I was like blown away because here were all these dreams, on the bigger side. So think about it. If your dream circle is big and you've got all these things, new home, family, new car, paid on the mortgage, family time, all of that kind of stuff. And that's huge. But then the income circle is so tiny and small that we try to squash those dreams and put them into the income circle versus the opposite. So I made, a decision right then and there that I wanted to create a bigger income so that we could live out those dreams and have the freedom lifestyle that we were looking for. So that resonated for me. And I made a decision right there that this was for me. And then, interestingly enough, another slide popped up on the screen by another speaker, and he said, what do you want to do? Be part of the 5% or the 95%? In this slide, it shows that, 36% are still working at the age of 65, and 54% are dependent on the government or someone else. There's only 5% that are really making money or wealthy. So, being that we were, just coming back from Europe and then coming into what are we going to do with our lives? We were only on one income, so things were tight. They were okay, but they were tight. So how are we going to create multiple streams? How am I going to, contribute to this income and this idea of having, a better life? So I decided to jump on board with this home-based business idea, and I was excited, and I decided to just follow the leaders and start doing what they told me. Because really, most people think that wealth is all about fancy cars and mansions, but I believe true wealth is about having the freedom to do what you want with your time. And that's why I'm holding this webinar. This means building up residual income that covers all your living expenses, no matter what. Or your travel expenses, all of that, and then having that extra there for security and for contingency. So I was 43 when that happened, and that's when I decided to make it happen with building multiple sources of income. Then I discovered shortly thereafter something called the cash flow quadrant. And this was interesting because it was like a year and a half, and I was building my business part-time, and I had reached my goal of replacing my full-time income and staying home with the kids. And what I had also done was I decided to take the business profits and fund some real estate investments. I bought one property, then I bought a second and a third. And then I came across this whole concept of the cash flow quadrant through Robert Kiyosaki, one of my mentors who I've met in person and on other programs. But this really resonated for me, and I could see where everything was right in terms of what was happening and what I wanted to do. So I wanted to go over to the B and the I side because that's the freedom side. You see, I already had the income that I was wanting from my home-based business, but I also had started some real estate investments. When I heard what this was all about and heard from other people that were also some of my mentors, I realized I could do even better. So I had a goal to add 10 more properties in 5 years so that we could really create that retirement income and be feeling so much more secure in terms of where we were going with that. And I did it. In fact, we even became mortgage free on our personal property. I didn't know how at the beginning, but I did know why I wanted to do that. And my why was to have time with my family and be in control and in charge of my time, and then be able to have a security blanket for my future. That rainy day income, as they say. So look at this slide here. The left side is all about being active income. This is where people trade their time for dollars. As an employee, you're paid much per hour, you have to work those hours. If you're self-employed, like I was when I was in the franchise, I had to work pretty much all of that time. Even though I had staff, oftentimes they didn't show up. So I was working extra time, sometimes even 14-hour days and 7 days a week. So that wasn't really looking at that freedom lifestyle that I wanted. But it was great experience in all of that. I loved being an E and I loved being an S, but I really find that being a B is so much more fun. So my home-based business, now that I've built it up to a level that has created very significant income, is now considered a B quadrant business. And how that works is that with a B quadrant, you have systems in place and you're using the concept of leveraging. You're leveraging other people's efforts and you're leveraging a system. So those are two of the three words I brought up before. Now, what's even better is that if you can get this duplicating, that's when you start to see the income coming in faster and your freedom lifestyle is there for you faster. So what I did, and then the I quadrant, of course, is where you start to invest. So you can take your business profits and put them into investments, and then you're making your money work for you. So I really was excited to learn all of this stuff, and I have to say, it really changed my life. And here's a concept too. One of my mentors is J. Paul Getty, and he talks about leverage in this way. Would you rather have 100% of just your own efforts, or would you prefer to have 1% of 100 people's efforts? That's very, very cool. So just imagine that you work 10 hours part-time on your residual income business, and you have 100 other people on your team doing the same thing, working 10 hours. You are compensated on over 1,000 hours because of the efforts of others. It's a real team win-win kind of environment. It's a culture of community, of inspired people, and it's really about self-development at the forefront. This is what I teach in a lot of my business trainings. I have some different programs that I offer, and I just absolutely love it. So it's really a passion of mine. So here's a slide just quickly here, want to show you how recurring residuals really happen. This is my email. I took a screenshot to show you that, hey, congratulations, your team is growing. Your customer base is growing, and this is just happening time over time. And this is because the initial efforts were put in place, and I support the team, and this is what comes in. So I don't have to be present for every single dollar that I'm earning. That is the power of leverage, and that's what Robert Kiyosaki talks about. The richest people in the world build networks. Everyone else is looking for work. So really keep in mind how you're going to be building your residuals and how you're going to have multiple streams coming in, just like this image is here. So just to get back to how I did this, I bring this to your attention because I want you to know that it's from my experiences and from my skills and learning all of this together, and some of my, challenges that I've had over the years, I've been able to bring this together in some of these programs so that I can hopefully help you get to where you want to go. So as I said before, I used my business profits to fund the income properties. That was a strategic wealth action plan. I reinvested to add more properties. I kept building my teams with my home-based business. And with all of that, I then became mortgage-free and doubled my net worth in less than 5 years. And it continues to grow. And the great thing about this is that both businesses are assets that can be sold for profit or can be given to anybody that you want to. I mean, you can heir it to your children or so on. So there's an exit strategy around this too that I go into when I talk more in my real estate investing course and also my business building courses. So let's carry on and just take a look at some of the next slides here. One of the big things that people say to me, when I talk to them about business and how they want to earn income and where they want their life to be and so on, is they say, I don't have any time. And this visual is great. If you want a copy of it, definitely I can send it to you. But it's so amazing. We should have this up on our walls and our mirrors and everything, is that, in a week, you have 37 extra hours to pursue your dreams. So even if you took 10 of those hours to build your freedom business, this would be amazing. And this is so possible with all that that can happen if you set your mind to it. So let's talk about the residual income vehicles that are out there, the ones that are going to resonate for you, because what I'm doing or what somebody else is doing might not be your passion or your thing or what you're really incongruent with. So that's what I want to share, like what aligns with you. Lots of people, are making money through music and movies and educational programs, network marketing, real estate investing, digital projects, books, seminars, speaking, group coaching, franchising, if you have more than one, stock markets, paper assets, affiliate marketing, internet marketing. There's just loads of them out there. These are just a few to mention. But what would resonate for you? What is it that you want? What would align for you? So whatever you're currently doing, is it 100% active where you have to be there all the time to earn that income? Like, for example, a massage therapist, she or he can only have so many hours in a week to earn the income. So that is definitely active 100% active income. The ones in the green are my favorites, and that's where I build really fast residuals, and they're giving me lots of time freedom. In fact, a lot of people say, wow, you seem like you're really busy with all the things that you do. Well, I love doing what I'm doing because I can mix business and pleasure. And I would also say that there's more pleasure than business now at the stage that I'm at. So call it free beach money or worry free money. That's exactly what we do. But let's take a look at where you might be. Or let me use this example. If you're a massage therapist, and that's 100% active, you have to be present for that. How could you find a way to have, like, say, 20% residuals income coming in? Could you create a book or a digital project or an info thing or an educational program or a group coaching program, something like that, that has at least 20% residuals coming in? Then down the road, hopefully you're going to turn that around to have 80% active, 80% residuals and 20% active. So anybody in terms of any type of profession that you're an accountant or a lawyer, life coaching, business coaching, real estate investing, you can add on something to your existing business or your career. And it's not really that difficult to do. You just have to come up with some ideas. And we talk about that in my program that I'm going to share with you at the end here, called your Time Freedom Plan. If you're an employee, that's 100% active income. You have to be present to earn that income, trading dollars, time for dollars. What you then need to do is start a side business. And really, honestly, there's a great way of doing that through the network marketing business model, because everything is in place. The training programs, the mentorship, the personal growth. It's all about leverage, systems, and duplicating that. That's why I endorse this business model, especially after seeing my own results with creating really great residuals. So I've talked about systems as one of the key words. I love this acronym: save yourself time, energy, and money. And Michael Gerber, who wrote the E-Myth, I think it's called the E-Myth, he says work on your business, not in your business. So that's really a major, major thing you want to keep thinking about. So if you're going to work towards that 80% residuals and 20% active, always keep him in mind. Okay, whoops, sorry, just went too fast there. So some of the things I talk about are how to build residuals and then buying assets and then increasing your net worth. I go into this in greater depth into my programs, but I just wanted to share this slide with you because lots of times people forget about building assets, and that's really what creating wealth is all about, and having a true healthy bank account. But you also want to increase your net worth, and you also want to have cash flow at the same time. So you build your business to have cash flow and your residual income, and then you also build assets. So we map out everything for you in my programs. This happens to be mine right now, with the major parts being the rental property income and network marketing income. I can be away and the income is still coming in both of those areas. So you want to create that. I'm now going to add my book and my coaching programs into that wealth plan. So we map that out for you as well. It's awesome. It's a fun way of doing business for sure. So I just want to talk about something that is I'm passionate about, and that is the way that we're working into the entrepreneurship. The world is changing so much, the economy is changing, and there is a rise in entrepreneurship. And Eric Worre, who is the GoPro Mastery and the network marketing profession guru, has put together a new documentary film, and he talks about how it's all entrepreneurship is on the rise. And then he segues into it, why this business model would be great. You're going to learn a ton, even if you're not interested in network marketing, because you learn how to create, a better way of life. If it's, from whatever you decide, but entrepreneurship is the way to go. And the reason is the economy is shifting. People realize they have to have more than one income, and they have to look at residuals so that they can at least have some time freedom and still have that money coming in while you sleep, as they say, or while you're at the beach, or while you're on location, traveling, or doing whatever it is that you're doing. The network marketing revolution is massive. It's growing like crazy. The numbers are astounding. In fact, we're seeing growth like incredibly. In fact, 186 billion in sales annually, 19 million people in the US and Canada alone with $35 billion in sales. If you want to see more stats, go to dsa.org. That's the Direct Selling Association.org. The small version is dsa.org. Now, it's been endorsed by some big names here. You can see all of the guys up here. Look at Warren Buffett. He owns 3 network marketing companies. Les Brown says MLM has produced more millionaires than any other industry in the world, in the history of the world. I didn't know that. I mean, I was actually quite surprised to see all of this, that it was just kind of too good to be true. But it's so absolutely true, and I've now live it and breathe it. So I can speak to that point. So one of my goals was to write a book. It was on my vision board for a long time, and I kept putting it off, of course. Some of that procrastination, we can see it there, but we're just not quite doing it yet. So my business coach nudged me and kind of put a light under my butt and said, "Why are you not doing it?" I said, "Yeah, exactly." So I put it together just about a year ago, and I'm just so excited about writing the book. I really wanted to put my stamp of approval, my endorsement on this book. It's a due diligence guide. It's the pros and cons to this business model, the leveraged income idea versus the linear type income. It's a great tool. It's an educational piece, and it's really helping a lot of people understand how this business model works. You can decide if it's for you or not for you based on this book, because I give you all the pros and cons. It's really a due diligence guide. So I'm excited about that. And it's one of my residual income streams. Yay! And it then expands out to coaching programs and various other things. So it's really cool. Okay, so remember what we talked about being crazy before? I love Steve Jobs for this one. He says the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And Art Jonak says if you understood residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get it. I totally agree with him. So I've been walking through brick walls. I want to talk about who you're hanging out with. You've got to be with like-minded people, positive, energetic, the people that are going to support you and help you grow and tap into your true potential. And that's exactly what Eric Worre does. He's the guy on the left. He fills rooms of 8,000 people for his GoPro Mastery. He just did one in Vegas, and he did one in the UK. And again, another 8,000 in the first one, 8,000 in the second one, and like 8,000 in the one he's currently doing this week. So he's doing a lot for the industry, but you want to hang out with people and learn from them. Get with him. He goes to networkmarketingpro.com. You'll get tons of tips, and you'll really learn a few things. Even if you're not in network marketing, it's a great website. The one with 2 guys, these are the owners of the company for the company I represent, and they are all about having a purposeful business and sharing the wealth so that we can really help people's personal economies and have a better life. And then Garrett McGraw is on the bottom photo there. He's my mentor. He's the president of the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, been in the industry for 25 years. I've got tons of mentors in my real estate investing circles, and just absolutely love anything to do with personal growth and development. Obviously, it started way back in that Master Key seminar, right? Back when I was 19. So very, very cool. I'm just going to leave you with a couple of things here. When I think back about, my Freedom car when I was, 20, 21, then when I started my franchise, bought my home, all of these different things. And when we, went to Italy, when I was able to build a business from home that gave me the same and better income, significantly better income, so that I could invest in income properties, it just blows me away. So this resonated for me. If I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning, because we don't always have it at the beginning. So you've got to really have that faith and that belief, and that's what we help people with in our training programs. So I'm excited to wrap things up here, and I want to ask you though, what is your freedom vehicle? Or do you have a couple of vehicles? What is your getaway car? What is your beach money? Where are you heading with that? So just to, if you don't have a Freedom vehicle yet, then you got to get in on one. If you want to learn more, definitely I can share my program with you right now. But if you have a Freedom vehicle right now and you want to build it and get it in a greater way and to build that residual income bigger and better, we can show you how to do that as well. So tonight, what I'm offering is this call to action. Because if you're not going to take action, then it's just, you may be staying where you are, 1 year from now, 5 years from now. But I really know that 5-year plan really does work, because I did that in less than 5 years, in the mid 40s. So it absolutely works. So if you're serious about your ideal freedom lifestyle, then you need a plan. And that's what I have. It's a Freedom Action Plan 4-week program starting November 24th. I'd love for you to be on it, but definitely, check it out. Think about where you want to be, and if you can spare that hour either on these dates or in replays, I would absolutely welcome you to be there. There's going to be an easy to use system, an accountability tracker, recorded replays, plus lots of bonuses. Week 1, going to cover off your vision, your why you want this, your dreams, the obstacles that you're confronted with, your mindset, and get that outline for your goals. Okay. Week 2, we're going to create the game plan and get the action steps working with your accountability tracker, get all the systems in place, and show you how to leverage those systems. Week number 3, we're going to do your outreach program. How are you going to get out to people and tell them about what you're doing, or how you want to get improving your client base, or improving how you're going to market your products and services. We're going to have that attraction marketing strategy. We're going to talk about how people in your life can help you get to where you want to go. We're going to deal with objections, and overcoming fear, and controlling your inner critic. And week 4, we're going to really measure your business, because that's what really matters. Knowing where you're going and then keeping track of how to do that. We're going to keep you on track by managing your time and how to do that on a part-time basis. You're going to talk about how to deal with appointments and presentations, professionalism, and how to prepare in a better way, how to close sales, and how to get that referral business on your products and services. So really tonight, if you want to take advantage of this, I welcome you to head over to my website. This is a special registration link. I will email it to you as well so that you can click on it. You've got up until Monday night to take advantage of the savings here on this really, really well-priced 4-week program. But it's going to jumpstart you, kind of get you right on track before the holidays come in, and then be able to really keep you going after that, because you're going to have access to so much great information. But the main thing here is that, I'm excited for you if you want to create your time freedom plan, but the key thing for you is to take action. I really do hope I've delivered great value for you tonight. That's the main thing for me. Whatever you decide to do or not do with this program, that's okay with me. I just want to really, really get it out there. So if you think it's of value to you, then definitely sign up for it. If you have any questions, just send the questions off to me, and send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And I really do hope to see you on the next webinar. And I really want to see you work less, have more fun, create time freedom, and really live the life of your dreams. So I want to thank you once again for being here, and have an awesome, awesome evening. Thanks again.